Thank you so much for joining me in the throne room. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Queen's Justice. So, I'm going to go ahead and give you a full in depth recap and review. Now, if you're not into long reviews, just exit left and come back. I'll be doing part one and part two of this video to give you 5 minutes each. So that way I don't overload you with information. Now, Jon Snow, Sir Davos, and other armed guards arrive in the shores of Dragonstone. Jon and Tyrion greet each other warmly, but the Northerners hesitate when asked to hand over their weapons. Davos, struck by Missandei, comments
Dragonstone has indeed changed.
Now Tyrion asked after Sansa, though assures Jon that their marriage was an consummated sham. After Jon and his men take cover, when Rhaegal flies past, Tyrion gestures to the castle ahead.
Their mother's waiting for you.
I've done my part. I brought ice and fire together. Melisandre.
On a bluff ahead, Varys questions Melisandre about the distance she's keeping from Jon. She replies they did not part on the best terms and she plans to head to Volantis. Now, Varys insinuates that Red Priestesses may not be safe in Westeros, but Melisandre promises she'll return. And as she has to die in this strange country, just like the spider looking at the sea, Varys spies a single Greyjoy ship slowly sailing into the harbor. Introductions are made in Dragonstone throne room, although Jon's title is not as grand as Daenerys. Davos reminds the Dragon Queen that Jon shall still be addressed as Your Grace. Now, Daenerys and Jon debate the validity of the oath of the loyalty sworn by Torrhen Stark, the last king in the North. Jon argues it was nullified when the last Targaryen burnt his grandfather and uncle alive. Now, he's surprised when Dany asks for forgiveness on behalf of her father's crimes, and he acknowledges she's not to blame for the Mad King's mistakes, just as he is not beholden to his ancestors' vows. He explains he has come to band together to fight the Great Army, not Cersei, but the army of the dead. Although Tyrion vouches for Jon's trustworthiness and sanity, Dany remains focused on her goal, to rule the Seven Kingdoms. Impressed but unshaken, Jon tells her she'll be ruling a graveyard. Davos rationalizes the same destiny that returned Daenerys to Westeros was the one that made Jon Snow king in the north. But Jon stops his hand from revealing his resurrection. Tyrion presses Jon to bend the knee, and when he refuses, Dany interprets it as an act of rebellion. After Varys enters with a private information, she dismisses her guest, carefully stating he is not a prisoner yet. Now, Varys informs Dany that the majority of the Greyjoy ships have been sunk or captured, and Ilaria, the Sand Snakes, and Greyjoys are all most likely dead or captured. Now, this goes back into what Olenna told Daenerys about not listening to her hand, because this was all Tyrion's plan, so just keep that in mind. Now, Theon, shivering and wet, is hauled onto an ironborn ship. He claims he failed his attempt to save Yara, but his men don't believe him and turn away disgusted. I give you what no other man could give you, justice for your murdered daughter, Euron Greyjoy. Euron rides through King's Landing, triumphantly dragging Yara, Ilaria, Tyene behind him. He presents Ilaria and her daughter to Cersei. Ilaria stares at the mountain, shocked to see him alive. Euron is eager to claim Cersei's hand, but the queen agrees to give him what he wants. When the war is won, openly mocked by Euron, Jaime struggles to restrain himself. Ilaria, Tyene are all chained in the keep dungeon. So, they're definitely in that dungeon right now. They need to be there because they did kill Marcella, and that was an innocent situation. I mean, just because Cersei's a monster doesn't mean go after her angelic children. It's not their fault they're here. So Cersei circles their cell, reminding her of Oberon and Marcella, taunting Ilaria. Cersei kisses Tyene on the mouth, then wipes off her lipstick and drinks from a vial. Now Tyene realizes what's happened, cries out as her mother, Gag, looks on in horror. Now Cersei tells Ilaria she will remain alive to watch her daughter die and her body waste away and her pretty face crumble. Now mother and daughter move to one another, but their chains keep the inches apart, unable to touch. So in Cersei's bedchamber, Jaime massages the stump of his right arm. The queen enters, no longer bothered by Jaime's injury, kisses him passionately, removing Jaime's pants. Cersei sinks to her knees at dawn. Cersei's handmaiden knocks on the bedchamber door to announce a visitor from Bravos. Jaime is worried about being seen in his sister's bed, but smiling at her brother, the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms says, matter-of-factly, I'll do as I please. Now Cersei opens the door wide enough for the girl to see Jaime.